Hi guys, Alistair Taylor here, and today we're going to do a little test on shafts in driver. So I've got the M1Driver, and for this year there's 3 stock shafts. There's Mitsubishi Curacage Silver, you've got the Aldila Rogue, and you've got the Fuji Cura. So for years the manufacturers have often only offered 1 stock shaft, which they say has been engineered specifically for that club head to perform its best. Completely understand that, and I think that's been a really strong selling point for stock shaft, so guys not needing to upgrade. However, for this year there's more wide options, not just with the M1 but with other drivers, as to what stock shafts are going to be. So I'm going to hit some shots with each of the stock shafts, all stiff. Driver's going to be set exactly the same at 9.5 with the weights in the same place. We're going to have a look at some data on Skytrak, so it's going to be closed data, and we're going to see what difference, if any, the shafts make. And if you haven't got the opportunity to maybe use all of them, which one you might look to be trying. So we're going to go with the Curacage first. I have had this shaft in my drivers in the past, so I know this is a decent shaft for me, and I know when I did my M1 review, which if you haven't watched is available to view on my channel, I know this performs pretty well for me. So off we go, 4 shots with each shaft. Set off maybe a little bit low, just turning over a touch. 235 carry, 260 total. Okay, so shot number 2. Felt a little bit higher, but still central off the face. See, set off a little bit right, drawing back, probably more my normal shape. Pitching 252, rolling out 273. Okay, so shot number 3. Maybe just slightly towards the toe. Only a tiny bit, still pretty close on strikes. So set off a little bit straighter. Just turning over. Again, pitch 251, over 270. One final one. We'll kind of really have a go at this and see how far we can get this out there. So the thing I like with this is it feels stable. I know that's a very personal thing, but it feels stable, but still feels like it's helping me a little bit, this shaft. And again, pretty close to the middle, maybe just a touch towards the heel. So set off pretty straight, and you can see maybe just that slight towards the heel strike. Still pitch 244, rolling out 260. So certainly the last one there, still good strike, but ball speed down a little bit with the strike and the shape a little different. So I'm going to swap over. I'm going to go from Curacage onto the Fuji Cura. So we'll get that screwed in there. And the beauty is nowadays, I mean, there is a wealth of options on shafts. For me, when I do fittings, I think some guys just seem desperate to want to spend a lot more money on a shaft when they maybe don't need to when you look at performance. Okay, so Fuji Cura. So, I mean, for me, straight away, it feels more whippy. I mean, I know it's still stiff. And that one, certainly strike-wise, was a little bit more towards the toe than any of the others have been so far. We see sets off right and just slides out that way. 231, 253, so down on accuracy and distance on there. Shot number 2. That was a good strike. But right out the middle. So set off just right, fairly straight. Pitching 251, 270. So some good numbers there. So certainly first couple, very different strike positions on the face. Maybe just felt a little bit towards the heel that time. So yeah, set off a little bit right and just fading, so certainly strike affecting where that flies. 242, 256. So final shot with the Fujikura. Again, last shot with each, I'm really going to kind of try and get as much as I can out of it. Just felt a little bit low off the face. So yeah, set off very straight. Just working a touch left to right, 233, 246. Okay, so fit Fujikura, fit Kura cage. Let's go on to the Rogue, see how that performs. So, I mean, this is the beauty of custom fit nowadays, you know, just interchange shafts so easily with heads. It'd be fantastic as a fitter if all the manufacturers used the same fitting, but that's never going to happen. They're never going to make my life that easy. So last 4 shots with the Rogue shaft. So again, I mean, I've used all these shafts in the past testing, you know, trying to use them all on one video, but see how this performs. Strike felt good. I mean, feel-wise, felt massively different shaft. So set off a little right, just kind of stayed there. Pitched out there 253, 270 total. So, I mean, certainly even off that first shot, this one just feels, for me, almost like there's no giving it at all. So it kind of feels very, very solid. Guys will have different personal preferences on how the shaft should feel. That's very out the toe. Setting off a little bit left and low. 220 carry rolling out 250. Certainly their strike was way down and spin was very, very low. So last couple with this one. It's amazing, I think, how different shafts make the club feel so different. So again, very solid. Set off pretty straight and just holding its line. Look at the carry, 246, 261. So spun a little bit more. And one final one. So probably the best one with this shaft. So set off nice and straight. And just stayed there. So probably the straightest shot I've ever hit. 258 carry, 277 total. Okay, so let's have a look at some averages and see what we found. So as we looked, first 4 shots were with the Kura cage. Ball speed, to be fair, with all of them was very, very consistent. Club head speed, again, you'd say pretty consistent through the shots. Not a massive amount in there. If you look at spin rates, pretty low apart from the last one on the Kura cage, which is more of a heel strike. Fujikura, again, spin rates maybe a little high. And again, you know, pretty close, probably Kura cage, probably the best out of the lot. Longest carry was the final one with the Rogue. Longest total was that one as well. But if we're looking at averages, Kura cage would have won it. Okay guys, so like I said, it was quite a small sample, just 4 shots with each. But did the shaft make a difference to the shot? I mean, I have done another video on flex of shafts and how that affects ball flight. And I would say trying the different shafts in here gave me very, very similar results to the different flexor shafts. For me personally, I felt the different shafts affected my ability to hit the ball at the same place of the club face each time. So I thought the most consistent for me was Kura cage. And I think when we looked at the numbers, that gave me the most consistent numbers and the most consistent shot. And you'd expect that if you hit it out the same place. Probably the Fuji Kura, I was most inconsistent with my ball striking, and therefore we saw the numbers change. And the Rogue, fairly inconsistent, but the last one that was good was fantastic. So possibly with my very best swing, the Rogue might have been best. But as an average, for me personally, we'd have to say the Kura cage was most consistent. So, does the shaft make a difference? Yes. Is it user error? Possibly. But we're going to kind of say it's not. We're going to say I'm fairly consistent with my golf swing. Leave comments below if you don't agree with that. But yeah, I do think the shaft makes a big difference in the sense that when you get the right shaft for you, it's going to help you deliver the club more consistently and strike the ball out the same place of the club face, which is going to give you some consistent numbers on a launch monitor when you're fitted, but most importantly is going to give you consistency when you go out and play. There's no point in having fantastic averages on a launch monitor if when you get on the golf course, that means that if you were to hit driver 12 times, that 4 are right, 4 are left, and 4 are straight. That's not going to help anyone. If all 12 of them are in play, that's what gives you your best results. So as always, guys, get fitted, try the products, use the numbers, but try and look at some of the individual shots as well and see actually are those averages consistent or are we poles apart to get something in the middle. So thank you for taking the time to watch my videos, as always. Leave any comments below if you've enjoyed the video, like and share it. Subscribe to the channel, importantly, if you haven't. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like for me to cover. Hopefully see some of you guys down in the future. Stay in contact.